Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let me introduce about myself. My name is Fitriyatul Husna and I am from class 4B. In this occasion, I will explain about a journal, and the title of the journal is Tools and Strategy for Distance Learning to Respond COVID-19 Pandemic in Indonesia. This journal is written by Muhammad Nur Yasir Utomo and Mehmet Sudaryanto and then Kundarusadon. And this journal is published on 3rd June 2020. First we were talking about research questions and purposes. This research aimed to formulate tools, recommendation, and implementation strategies for cost-effective distance learning that can be used by educational institutions so that all students can participate in learning well. And the questions of this research is about content of internet and network access, and then content of the use of online learning tools. Next we will talking about research method or design. There are three main stages in this research. Number one is the develop survey questionnaire, and number two is data collection process, and number three is analysis of the survey results. Next is a research instrument. This research used two types of data instruments. The two instruments are open-ended and closed-ended, which both of them use as prerequisite analysis of the main data. The first instrument is about quality and cost of internet access, and the second instrument is about online learning tools used by students. There are the table about that contain of questions of the survey. Each table have five questions. The question about the question, you can see it in my PowerPoint. The question is about content of internet and network access, and then content of the use of online learning tools. Next is about research participant or technique of selecting sample. So data collection in this study is carried out by distributing survey questionnaires that had been made previously to 256 college students in Indonesia randomly. The students have background from the exact, social, and humanities. The distribution of the location itself is spread in various regions in Indonesia. The data is collected within 1 week between April 6, 2020 and April 12, 2020. When this data is collected, Indonesia has implemented a distance learning policy so that all respondents are students who have experience in conducting distance learning. Now we enter to research finding. So the first is result of internet access support survey. And table number one is about types of students internet provider. As you can see on the table shows that students in Indonesia basically have internet access. However, 91.8% the students still access the internet via mobile data, and compared to only 8.2% who have access to the dedicated internet. This makes the internet access speed at 91.8% of the students is still unstable and costly. Table number 2 is about students' internet speed. So the table shows that only 16.8% of students have fast internet speeds, while 67.6% have sufficient internet access speed for distance learning. However, 12.1% of students have slow internet speeds for distance learning. Even 3.52% of Indonesian students still have very slow internet access. This result shows that students will experience difficulty in face-to-face explanations through video conference. Okay, next is the table about students' internet access costs. So the table shows that 60.9% of students must spend additional cost of around 50,000 rupiah until 100,000 rupiah for internet access. Meanwhile, there are 28.52% which must spend additional cost for around 100,000 rupiah until 200,000 rupiah, and 7.03% spend more than 200,000 rupiah on internet access during distance learning. This amount of this additional cost is classified as a large amount for students. The amount of this cost can increase if there are more classes with video conference. Okay, next is about whether or not expensive the cost of online learning. So this table show that the survey results that 19.2% of distance learning students felt that the additional expenditure is expensive, and only 9.77% thought that the expenditure is inexpensive. This result shows that policy action is needed in the form of subsidies and other related to the cost of internet access for distance learning, so that students can continue to follow the lesson. And next table is about internet facility policy for students. So this table shows the result of the survey related to internet facility support for students. It is seen that 96.1% of students who have to take distance learning do not get any assistance or facilities related to additional expense for the internet during distance learning. If it is left unhacked, this can result in a decrease in the number of student participations. Okay, next is about results of the distance learning tool survey. So table number 1 of the survey is about students' satisfaction in campus e-learning. So in the table number 1, the table shows that 52.7% of students are not satisfied with e-learning that is used on their campuses. Only 47.3% are satisfied. These results indicate the use of campus e-learning in Indonesia still needs further socializations and development. However, this can be overcome by using other tools such as Google Classroom and Edmodo. This use of these tools is quite high even though the campus has provided its own e-learning. And next is the table about tools used instead of universities e-learning. So the table shows that although the campus in Indonesia has prepared e-learning, other tools are still used by instructors to support distance learning. The result shows that 74.2% out of 100% of distance learning students use Google Classroom tools, while the use of Edmodo reached 19.14% out of 100% of students also use, and there are 39.45% out of 100% of students also use WhatsApp as a medium of distance learning. There are two interesting things found from the result. First, students can use several tools for online learning. There are even students who use all three, namely Google Classroom, Edmodo, and WhatsApp. Second, surprisingly, WhatsApp, which is an instant messaging app based social media, and is not intended specifically for learning app, is apparently quite widely used to convey distance learning. This research indicates that the distance teaching process in Indonesia is very flexible. Okay, the next table is about the use of video conference. The result shows that 89.45% of students have used video conference, and only 10.55% have never used video conference. So, survey research show that Indonesian distance learning mostly fulfills good distance learning requirements. The next table is about video conference tools. The table shows that the most widely used tool for video conference in Indonesia for distance learning is Zoom with 82.03%, followed by Google Meet with 7.42%, while 10.55% of students do not use video conference at all. Okay, the last table is about social media as learning support. So the table shows that WhatsApp as social media based on instant messaging became the most widely used application to spread information related to distance learning during the COVID-19 pandemic in Indonesia, with 98.05% of respondents. The simplicity and speed factor make WhatsApp more widely used than other social media like Facebook, Telegram, and Instagram, which do not show a significant contribution to the dissemination of learning and information. Okay, I think that's all from me. I'm sorry for the mistakes. Thank you, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.